Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? I'm Jeff,
I'm Kyle.
and we are Shut Up, I Like This podcast,
Yeah.
where we talk about how much we like movies, and just want to give a big shout out to Rotten Tomatoes and say, fuck you!
Yeah, fuck you for trying to ruin the Mighty Ducks and shit all over my childhood.
It's, I mean, even just watching as an adult now, it's not that bad of a movie, but...
I can't wait to talk
well,
about
yeah,
this.
we'll
this
get
is
into it
this
all.
is a fun one.
But real quick,
I wanted to make mention for anyone who listened to the Space Jam episode, which is hopefully everyone listening to this one. We called Space Jam a Disney movie. It's actually Warner Brothers.
Right.
We both know that it was Warner Brothers, but we kind of used like a broad term of
90s live action.
family
Yeah.
Disney movies.
Right.
And we know it's Warner Brothers. We know Looney Tunes is Warner Brothers, but we kind of mistakenly called it a Disney movie. I wanted to correct that before.
I feel like everybody would think Space Jam was a Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean,
It just feels like 90s Disney.
yeah, that's what. When we had talked about theming this month, we were going for
Right.
like live action 90s family films that people don't talk about. And Disney is kind of a broad term that I think
Yeah.
we use. But although I think the rest of the ones,
I think the rest of them are. I think
Mighty Ducks is definitely Disney.
for sure.
Yep.
Flubber,
Yes.
Disney, and then George of the Jungle.
All Disney.
All Disney.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
I can't. Oh my god.
It's a fun lineup.
I don't remember the last time I saw Flubber.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
I can't remember the last time I'd seen any of these movies that
Right.
we're doing for this month.
I saw Space Jam pretty recently because I bought it on Blu-ray.
Space Jam was kind of the anomaly because I watched that one just on my own without even doing this podcast
Right.
like a couple months before we recorded it. So that one notwithstanding, the rest of these are just
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had been a while since I've watched Mighty Ducks. And holy cow, like that. We'll get into it, but like, watching it as a kid and then watching it now as an adult, because it's been a while. And you start noticing a lot of different things. There's a lot of like subtle adult humor, and then there's also some stuff that I'm just like,
there's some not even subtle fucking
right.
language in the film.
For
They
sure.
throw a
Yeah.
bitch right in the opening,
Yeah.
and
The kids are swearing all over the place.
yeah, they put dog shit in a purse. And,
That's I want to talk
Right,
about that though.
right.
We're definitely going to talk about that.
yeah, like
So we're jumping to discussion.
we're excited to talk about fucking Mighty Ducks
right?
here. Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah. This is
because
not,
this is the epitome of shut up. I like this.
it's nonsense. These ratings are nonsense for
The critic score, the audience score makes sense.
yeah.
So right, the critic score is 18%. Hey,
Has your dog ever jumped up on the bench
no,
during
he
a show
hasn't.
before?
That's pretty good. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? Say hi. Good dog. Okay. So yeah, 18%. And then the critics or the audience score is 65%.
65%.
that's a pretty
is
big
more
jump.
like it.
Yeah.
18%. What is wrong with the majority of the critics that they're like, fuck Mighty Ducks, fuck your childhood?
Well, I before we started recording, I told you one of the
Oh, I
reviews that I read.
didn't even look.
and I looked.
It was
I
the-
always look, and it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
But one that caught my eye right off the bat, this guy's like, well, if it weren't for the Mighty Ducks wanting to win a championship so bad, there wouldn't be a movie.
And
That's what the fucking movie's about. Of course they want to win.
fucking Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
If they didn't want to win so bad, there wouldn't be a Remember the Titans.
Varsity Blues. and
If they didn't want to win, there wouldn't be a movie.
it's like, are you serious right now? It's ridiculous.
What was that Marky Mark Eagles film?
Oh, yeah.
Vince Papale, Invincible.
Invincible.
Yeah.
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 Every action
If
or
Vince Papale didn't want to play in the NFL, there wouldn't be a movie. Get off your high horse.
every sports movie ever made.
Yeah.
Rudy. If you didn't want to play so bad, there wouldn't be well, no fucking shit.
Yeah, right?
You know, if the Mighty Ducks didn't want to fucking win so bad, yeah, then they wouldn't make a movie about
Whoever wrote that must have just been terrible at sports.
it. Right?
And just, right?
Fuck it.
Fucking, like, that's the whole point.
That's
why
there was some pretty ridiculous
Why you do
ones.
anything competitive.
But that was the one that just stuck out the most because I was like, of course, that's why we're watching the movie is to watch them win. So.
Right?
So yeah, those are the scores. Pretty sad, pretty ridiculous. But again, the epitome of shut up. I like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they say. Audience is what we care
We're
about.
in the 65%.
65%
that love us some Mighty Ducks.
And those are just people who are on the internet who vote. You know, I'm sure you go around and you start asking people, do you like Mighty Ducks? Like, fuck yeah.
People our age?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with Mighty Ducks. Oh, I forgot about... I bet you would get, I forgot about that movie. I haven't seen that in years.
And then they go watch it.
Yeah, I used to love Mighty Ducks. Is it still good? Yes.
At least the first one. I remember the second one a lot.
I remember a lot more of D2 than Mighty Ducks.
Was it Kel or Kenan? Kenan Thompson.
Yeah.
Kenan Thompson was in there with the knuckle puck.
Wasn't there a scene with a cheeseburger?
Oh, maybe.
In Mighty Ducks 2? Because it's been like equally as long since I've seen the second.
Yeah.
Because I remember there being some big joke about how like, oh, I bet if that was a cheeseburger, if that was a cheeseburger, you could block.
Yeah.
You know, like you could block it from going into the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's with Kenan Thompson.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a weird point to remember, but
I haven't.
No, when they're playing the street hockey and stuff, and they're trying to hit in the garbage cans and shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Jeff,
all the '90s is just all over the place. They wearing tie dye and bandanas. And
I'm probably gonna watch D2 The Mighty Ducks on my own. That has nothing to do with this podcast. Like after we get done recording, because I want to watch it now.
Yeah, I remember that's the one where they do the Olympics, right? And they get like the other kids from around the world and stuff, and like in this one you have Fulton as the enforcer, but then they get another enforcer, and they like kind of butt heads and shit. You get the cowboy, the Korean guy.
See, you have a better memory of it than I do, apparently.
I've probably seen it pretty... Well, I mean, probably within the last... Since I've had kids, probably. So within maybe the last 3 years, I've probably watched it.
See, I haven't watched, any of the Mighty Ducks films since the 90s.
Since you had the VHS?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I remember those covers, though, pretty vividly.
10 or under the last time I'd seen any of these.
Holy cow.
I remembered absolutely nothing.
Really?
About this film. Zero at all, other than like I remember loving it when I was a kid, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about other than Emilio Estevez is in it.
Right.
I remember that, and they play hockey.
Holy shit!
Nothing else.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous.
But you know, as it went along,
did you start remembering though?
Somewhere in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah,
I've seen this before.
This is all familiar, and I really got into it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I think it's a good film. I think
it kind of really is.
It's kind of
even from an adult standpoint. There's one, again, we'll get into it, but there's some things I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're like, yeah.
I know, right? Like, I always like to take a little minute at the beginning of these podcasts to like, this is what I didn't like about the film.
Okay.
And so, like, Emilio Estevez sounds like he had a helium balloon in his mouth throughout basically the duration of the film.
Yeah.
You know, that was a little...
He barely even touched him!
Yeah, right? And the beginning was cringeworthy as fuck, where the fast motion.
I love that though. That's so silly and goofy.
I cringed. I'm like, if the rest of the movie is this bad, I'm gonna hate it.
The beginning.
It was like just that like beginning was really terrible, and I didn't like that too much. And then it's really kind of funny how dramatic they try to make Pee Wee League hockey.
Right.
Like, it's maybe over dramatic.
Yeah. But I mean,
who gives a fuck?
When you're a kid, that's how it feels, though. When you're a kid,
yeah, sure, yep. And when you're a kid watching it, I guess it don't make a shitting bit of difference.
It makes perfect sense.
As an adult, you're watching it, being like, oh yeah, they're just fucking playing like...
Right, it's just Pee-wee, but then you can kind of put yourself back there and like, when you were...
Well, if I was 10.
Well, yeah. That was like your world. That meant everything to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's get into first experience. I mean, we kind of talked about our first experience growing up in the 90s. We talked about with Space Jam.
Yeah.
You didn't really remember too much of it.
I remember having the big plastic oversized VHS tape
where you could cut your fingers on.
The edge of it. Mighty Ducks,
plastic shit.
Mighty Ducks 2, and I don't ever think I had the third one.
Oh
but
yeah,
1 and 2 for sure.
D3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just do some favorite scenes. Do you have a favorite scene, or you want me to go?
You can go first.
Shit. Okay. I'm gonna go with probably any scene with MC Gainey as the driver.
Yeah.
For instance, it's such a small part, I know, but every time he spoke, I laughed my ass off. There's a scene kind of in the beginning when Bombay first gets there and he drives out on the ice and stuff, and all the kids are jumping around in there.
Steals the candy.
And everyone's yelling at each other, and MC Gainey you can barely hear it, but he just goes, "I could kill one of them just to set an example."
Does he really?
Yeah, I could kill one of them just to set an example.
Yeah.
And Bombay's like, no, we'll just.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And just a lot of the.
I did like where he was shaking the kid upside down.
Yeah, and shaking the candy out of him.
Candy back. As soon as I seen him in the film, I'm like, holy shit! I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, holy shit!
He's got that face.
He's in Django Unchained. He's one of those actors that I can never remember his name.
Yeah.
But you see him in something.
He's in everything.
And you're like, that fucking guy right there. He's good. And it was fun to watch him play like a good guy.
Yeah. He's always kind of a drunken asshole idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, he was Big John Brittle in Django Unchained.
I like the way you die, boy.
Yeah, him. Yep.
Django Unchained.
So it's funny how he was trying to kill kids in the beginning of this movie. Maybe Mighty Ducks was a secret Tarantino film.
Right.
Maybe he pinned the script and
it's actually his descendant.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so pretty much any scene with MC Gainey, I'll say is my favorite. I like the whole film. There's a whole bunch of good stuff in it. But just if I had to pinpoint, like just there's just little subtle lines that you maybe don't even hear.
Yeah.
But then it's like, did he just say that? And then it's like, wow, this is a kid's Disney movie.
Sure. I'm going to go with the scene. I liked a lot of the training montage. I thought it was really funny. Like where he was teaching them how to pass the eggs back and forth.
Right, yeah.
I thought that was good stuff. And then the one kid that's the goaltender, Goldberg, he's afraid of like the hockey pucks, and so they strap him up. Like,
my mother would not approve.
Yeah. And then they all just waylay on him, and I'm like, this is shit that you couldn't do in a kid's movie today because
shit you couldn't do, period.
Because
anymore.
Concussions. And then they forget about him, and he has to like try to like hop forward with the thing.
Yeah.
I thought that whole sequence was really pretty funny.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. Emilio Estevez, he had that locker room speech where he first showed them their jerseys. Who wants to be a duck? And,
right.
Yeah, and all the kids were like, fucking, I don't want to be a duck.
Ducks are stupid.
Then he sells them on them, and I'm 31 sitting here like, I want to be a duck.
I want to fly in the V.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun time. I want to go play some hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emilio Estevez, oh man. First, I think, don't get me wrong, him and my dad, like, they're not this. They just have some kind of similar facial expressions. And
yeah.
Like my dad and Emilio Estevez have the same eyes, and like every time I see Emilio Estevez, I kind of see my dad, especially like now or back then when they were younger and stuff. And so like watching Mighty Ducks and seeing Emilio Estevez, god dang it, it's the same thing with like Young Guns and stuff.
Sure.
I always just kind of see my dad, and so I always kind of felt like my dad was coaching the Mighty Ducks.
Turn your notifications off, Jeff. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
What was that funny line at the beginning of the film where he was like, I
hate hockey and I don't like kids.
I hate hockey, I don't like kids.
Right.
I thought, I'm like, oh, that's accurate. Although I like hockey.
Yeah.
So
this movie made me want to play hockey when I was a kid.
Right.
And
I think that's the same thing for everyone. Like how Space Jam, you wanted to be Michael Jordan.
Right.
You wanted to play basketball. Well, Mighty Ducks made you want to play hockey.
I remember in my elementary school, probably a couple years after this came out, at recess, we had these, I don't know if you guys had them. They were probably 6-foot long boxes with the 3 rings in the middle with like little holes cut out. and you would put your puck in, and like
Sure.
you could either take turns and like you'd have to hit it through the holes and get it through the other person's goal.
Yeah.
Or you would do this dumb thing where you call it, okay, we're gonna play automatic, and then you just fucking go nuts with it instead of taking turns. Like first I loved that, and then I watched this, and then like for the longest time I wanted to play hockey. I wanted to do that. I wanted to skate. I wanted to do all this stuff, and like my family would buy me these hockey books and stuff, and I had like rule books.
I have to raise my hand here. I remember having a Mighty Ducks hockey stick. Branded hockey stick, yeah.
I didn't have one of those.
It wasn't a full-size one. It was like plastic, like plastic, like kid-size thing.
I didn't get
And then
one.
I remember having like the Mighty Ducks Trapper Keeper.
Oh, I didn't have one of those either.
Yeah.
What the hell? I think I had one of the jackets.
Ooh,
Kind of
see,
like
that's
what
cool.
Bombay wore. It was like it had like the leather sleeves, and it had like Mighty Ducks on the back. It was like green. I could be making that up, Mom. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like I had one, but I don't really remember having.